find it very difficult to believe that they're going to close out the era at the Oracle with all 3 losses in the NBA Finals on their home court. I find that hard to believe. And then, we'll get into this later. But Game 6s usually work against the opponent of the Warriors. You can think about Oklahoma City a couple of years ago when Klay Thompson dropped 41. You can think about last year, Game 6, when Klay Thompson dropped 35 and they won. You can think about all of that. Then you can think about Game 6 this past year when they went into that game completely without Kevin Durant. No expectations whatsoever of winning that game because Kevin Durant was out. You knew you had a Game 7 at the Oracle. As a worst-case scenario, Steph Curry goes scoreless in the first half and drops 33 in the second half. I just think that when you look at the Warriors' history, when it comes to a Game 6, particularly when their backs are against the wall in any kind of way, they respond. And I believe tonight will be the same.
Well, in the words of Al Pacino's Scarface, not to mention Rakim, come say hi to the bad guy. Let me tell you something.
Actually, it's say hello to the bad guy.
Yeah, that's right.
It's say hello to the bad guy.
Rakim said, come say hi to the bad guy. Because it's time to say goodbye to your dynasty. It's over. It's over. It's a wrap. No, don't murder the messenger. Don't kill the messenger here. I'm just the messenger. I'm just bringing you the news. I'm telling you the truth. I told you before this series started, 6 games, Toronto, assuming KD wasn't going to play. I'm not, I might be slow, but I'm not stupid. If KD plays, you guys have the best team in the world. But minus KD? No. Let's look at this for a second, Stephen A. You say you find it hard to believe that they would lose the championship losing all 3 games at home. I find that easy to believe. They lost, the 73-win team lost the chip to LeBron James's Cavs at Oracle. Hold up. Y'all lost every game you played at Oracle to the Raptors this year, including 2 in the finals. Why is that hard to believe? Oracle not some special place to protect you from Kawhi Leonard? You think you're going to run to Oracle like you're playing tag and you're home? You're at base safe because of Kawhi Leonard? No. Kawhi Leonard's coming for you. I told you before Game 4. Before Game 4, road team wins out. So what happened? Road team won Game 4. Road team won Game 5. Road team's about to win Game 6. Why? Because you don't have KD now. He gave you a 7-8 point cushion before he went down. You won by a point. 1 point. By the way, look at the series without KD. Raptors are better than you without KD. Not way better, but consistently better in most of the quarters played. When you've won, you gotten a little lucky. Steph tried to turn the ball over. It wound up in Iguodala's hands. You might have been heading for a loss right there. And then a 1-point win. Now, I give Draymond credit. Draymond's a great defender, right? So he got his fingertips on the ball. But by a fingertip, you won. Those are the only 2 wins, and none at home. Let me tell you something about the Raptors. Stephen A., I know why you would say Game 7, like, they'll get tight. And Kyle Lowry in particular, there's some truth to that because Kyle Lowry, by his own admission, in the playoffs, plays better on the road. Something happens at home. Maybe he feels the pressure. I don't know. But I believe that a team takes on the personality of its leader on the floor. More than the coach, more than anything. The leader, if especially that's the best player on the team, because it's not always the same thing, but when that's the case, on the floor, the team takes that personality. Kawhi doesn't feel pressure. Kawhi's the same dude every single moment of every single game. He doesn't feel pressure. He has the knowledge, they need me now, which is why he scored 12 points in a blink, in Game 5. But he doesn't feel pressure, and I believe that trickles down. Pascal Siakam, even though he's young, even Kyle Lowry in the ultimate game, this being the penultimate game tonight, second to last. But even if it gets to an ultimate game, Kawhi Leonard his pulse is not changing. But it's not getting to the ultimate game because you guys are going down tonight.
Well, I will tell you this. I tell you the one thing that you've actually missed you've actually missed the strongest point you could have made. If you saw when KD went out of the game and Andre Iguodala was helping him, Andre Iguodala had his lower ankle area wrapped. And apparently he tweaked something as well, so we don't know what his health is going to be. I'm very, very concerned about that. And if I'm worried about the Warriors for anything, it's about their health because they just seem to be going down. Kevon Looney left the game. He did not come back. Nobody's been talking about that. So in that regard, I'm definitely worried about the Warriors, and I definitely think there's a good chance they could lose this game. My mentality is this, though. Klay Thompson, especially him, shows up in games like this. I don't think he's getting talked about enough. I expect him to have another big game tonight. I really, really do. I expect and Steph Curry. And let me tell you the mistake. This is the mistake that I think that that the Raptors have made about Steph Curry. Steph Curry has been relatively healthy this series, with the exception of Game 4, where he was just absolutely spent. The shot's been falling. So I'm telling you right now, these home rims, obviously, Mark Jackson had the line of the year for me when he was talking during the postseason when the Portland Trailblazers in Game 1 didn't step up on pick and rolls and guard him. And Mark Jackson said, how could you not do that? He says, Steph Curry and the rim have had a beautiful relationship for years. For a long, long time.
And so has Klay.
And so for a long, long time. And that's what it is.
If Klay gets hot, there's nothing you can do. But I'll say this. Danny Green on the other side has had games we've seen in these playoffs. He's been cold and Norman Powell stepped up. But when Green has been hot,
here he was good.
If he drops 4 or 5 threes, then that neutralizes some of what Klay can do.
Right.
They got numbers.
Which if you go on with Danny Green or Steph and Klay, I'm going with Steph.
All right, first thing, just get